Tom Welling is the Superman we are reviewing in this upcoming episode. Let's hop right into it.
I'm so excited. I love it so much.
Some people aren't going to think this one counts, and why is that?
Because Tom Welling plays Clark Kent as like a teenager, so he starts at 15, and then you move all the way up until he's an adult, and then the last episode you see him like become Superman.
But him as Clark Kent, Emery, do you think he portrays that awkward, nerdy, character like Christopher Reeves had, or Dean Cain had from your point of view?
Yes and no. Like one of the first scenes, he goes up to talk to the love interest at the time, and he trips and falls right in front of her. You find out later on that she has like a necklace of kryptonite, so like that was why. Mm-hmm. But that kind of gave you like the awkward vibe. Yeah. But the show, he's the big buff farm boy,
Superman
and like
in a flannel. Tom Welling is the Superman we are reviewing in this upcoming episode. Let's hop right into it. So, like I said, Tom Welling is the actor we are going to be reviewing because he has played Clark Kent, which Clark Kent is Superman. But, Emery, explain to us, some people aren't going to think this one counts, and why is that?
Because Tom Welling plays Clark Kent as like a teenager, so he starts at 15, and then you move all the way up until he's an adult, and then the last episode you see him like become Superman. So that, and there's 10 seasons, so all of those seasons are never actually with like Superman. They're with Clark Kent like trying to figure out how to become Superman, and he has like a red jacket that has like an S on it, but nobody really calls him Superman. So streak, yeah. So
is it the streak or the blur?
The blur's from the Flash.
No, the streak is the Flash. The blur is him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fact check it.
Okay. But yeah. So he's technically never Superman in the show. He's only Clark Kent. So that's how you could say that it's not necessarily the same ranking as everybody else.
Yeah. And why not? I want to. So I'm going to do it.
I love him. So,
I love Tom Welling. I love Talkville. And I love Smallville. So we're going to do it because he technically is Superman, and well, I guess Superboy, if you want to follow what that other show is talking about, because we had reviewed Christopher Reeves, Dean Cain, and we reviewed the Superboy actors. And Smallville is basically Superboy growing up to be Superman, I guess.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, but we just wanted to talk about it because we love Smallville. It's a special place in our hearts. Mm-hmm. And so, Emery, let's hop right into it. Tom Welling as Clark Kent, or Superboy, or Superman, however you want to say it. Emery, how do you feel about this actor portraying this iconic character?
I love him as this character. It's like sentimental because mom and dad they got married and started watching this show
on their honeymoon.
They found this show on their honeymoon, and so practically 3 years later I came along. So since then Smallville's been a part of my life. Yeah. So I love this show. Every
time we would bring up a superhero character that was featured on Smallville, my mom was like, oh, when Green Arrow was getting a show, she was like, oh, Green Arrow was on Smallville.
Yeah.
And then when Impulse came in, Young Justice, she was like, oh, Impulse, he was from Smallville. And I was like, how does my mom know more about superheroes than I do?
Yeah.
And so this show planted that seed for people like her to grow up. She was already an adult, but grow up and learn more about superheroes. And so this show was the start of the CW superhero series they did for a very long time. They did Smallville, then Arrow, then Flash. And Smallville, everyone loves Smallville. Everyone thinks it's so good. And it's doing so well that they have their own podcast called Talkville, where it's a rewatch podcast. And it's going pretty strong. But him as Clark Kent, Emery, do you think he portrays that awkward, nerdy, character like Christopher Reeves had, or Dean Cain had from your point of view?
yes and no. Like one of the first scenes, he goes up to talk to the love interest at the time, and he trips and falls right in front of her. You find out later on that she has like a necklace of kryptonite, so like that was why. Mm-hmm. But that kind of gave you like the awkward vibe. Yeah. But the show, he's the big buff farm boy,
Superman
and like
in a flannel.
Yeah.
Basically.
So like he doesn't really play the awkward yet. He gets to a point where like later on in the show, he does. Season 9, like almost the end of the show, he does have to start becoming awkward because people are starting to put things together. They're like, wait, you kind of look like him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like, but for the majority of the show, there's not really the awkwardness of Clark Kent. But I mean, he's a teenager, so it doesn't really bother me because he doesn't. I mean, he uses his powers, but never really in public. Like it's usually just with him and the bad guy at night. Like he's not usually in a public place using his powers, so he doesn't have to have a huge secret identity. He does keep his powers a secret.
Yeah, and sometimes people do see that are like at the school or like helpers.
Yeah.
Or something.
So I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I could see how it would bother other people. They're like, he's not the Clark Kent that we knew, but
yeah. I agree with that. I don't think he plays the awkward Clark Kent, but the show is about Superman before he's Superman. So he's watching, you get to watch him, and, Superman, I believe, Clark Kent is Superman, and he puts on the Clark Kent, like, awkward act. I think that's an act.
Yeah.
And so I love watching him as this confident teenager, and him going through life, and then he's like, okay, I have to put an act on. So you get to see Clark for who he is, and then when he changes, you're like, hey, it's okay. You're kind of giving him a little, like, blessing. You're like, hey, you're good. You get to be who you are now. You're excited for him.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the show, the last frame, he rips open his shirt like the iconic Christopher Reeves and does the iconic pose. So that was really cool to see. But we never see him in the Superman suit, and why is that, Emery?
Oh, I don't actually. You've told me this, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's because he didn't want to wear tights.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I'm not wearing tights. Yeah. Which I feel, it's like, okay, dude, you're playing Superman. Just wear tights. This is a legacy that you're a part of. But then from another part, it's like, that's kind of cool, Because a lot of people that were watching the show were teenagers that were watching it. And when he puts on that cape, it shows that we need to grow up and we need to be in the world, you know? And so that is the final destination. That is the final, like, goodbye, and now you know who this character is. So I thought that was super cool. And Tom Welling as Clark Kent, basically, I think he does a really good job, portraying, like, Superman in a flannel, basically, because he plays confident, he sticks up for the little people, and I think it's just really cool, and we see throughout the season how he believes everything is black and white. But then the more he grows up, he's like, okay, there are some gray areas, which, Superman has to face in the comics and in the shows and in the movies, that there are some gray areas, and I think it's just really fun to see, and we get to grow with the character over the 10 seasons. So, yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to mention about Tom Welling and his portrayal of Clark Kent?
I think there are some times when he can be like a little whinier than normal.
Totally, yeah. When it comes to like
kind of
love interests,
he
gets so annoying.
Or like playing sports, like he gets mad at his dad for a little bit about playing sports, and it's like, I get it. Like, he's a teenager. Teenagers can be whiny and a little bit annoying. Like, I get that.
The two teenagers that are saying that.
I mean, yeah. So I get that, but I know there was some times when I was like, okay, can we like move on? Like, come on, pal.
Or when he got married in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I don't like.
There are so many.
That.
The thing about this show is there's so many storylines that are just dumb because they needed to hit that
freak of the week.
Yeah, freak of the week. I actually do like in the first season. There are these like meteorites that are kryptonite, but they infect people and they give them powers, and of course they're like the jocks that are roided up, and he's like, no, I have
or these
power.
Nerdy girls that are like going after everybody that was mean to them.
Yeah, stuff like that, which I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But after the 20th time, it's like, oh my goodness, how many times are we going to do this? And you can definitely tell when they're like, we don't have an idea for an episode, Freak of the Week, and it's like, really? And they talk about that on their Talkville podcast to the creators. They're like, yeah, we didn't really have any idea what to do, so we just did Freak of the Week. Yeah, totally. And one of the characters that helps Superman become Superman is Lex Luthor. And I think...
My goodness, yes.
It's so good. Michael Rosenbaum is the actor that plays Lex Luthor. And he does such a phenomenal job playing Clark's best friend, but also his enemy at the same time.
Yeah.
And
like, it gradually becomes his enemy, but like, you start off, you love Lex, and even when he becomes a bad guy, you're like, but I love you. Like, what am I supposed to, like, how am I supposed to walk away from that?
Yeah, totally. And so it's very.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's very much. It's like, wow, they did such a good job because. Of course, they're like, we have to introduce Lex Luthor, and we don't really talk about Lex on the podcast because it's a Superman, like it's a Superman miniseries. But you have to talk about Lex Luthor in Smallville. He's
so important.
He is the first lead with Tom Welling, or the second lead. Like it's very close. There's one storyline that's Lex is the main character, one storyline where Clark's the main character, or sometimes they're both the main character. So, yeah.
I remember when I was little and they were like starting to like cast like other Superman, like Lex Luthor's for like other Superman movies, and I was like, well, why don't they get him? Like I even remembered him then, and I was like, I know that he was really good and I loved him, and like I just love it so much because it's so different. Like they're not that far apart in age. Like Lex is like college for like the beginning, and he's like an adult, and then Clark is in high school still. But he's still like, he'll cover for Clark. He'll like loan Clark his car, money, like.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's like he like protects Clark from his dad, like, which is Lionel, who's like
the villain,
the Lex Luthor, like your stereotypical Lex Luthor from every other one. That's kind of who Lionel is.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So like he does he's a good, almost like big brother in the beginning. Like he has his back. And then it's sad because the relationship starts to change and he becomes who we now know as Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Wow. Emery's spitting bars over here. She's like making everything click. I was like, yeah, wow, yeah, that's good. Yeah. But yeah, so I think they did such a good job with, even Tom Welling did great. But like we talk about all the time on this podcast, you can't have Clark Kent or Superman without Lois Lane or Lana Lang.
We did get both. We got both in this show.
Yeah, we got both. Because in the Superboy show, we got Lana Lang. And in this Smallville show, Lana Lang
We started off with her.
Yeah, we started off with her. She is the first love interest. Yep. And Emery, how do you feel about Clark and Lana? Because I believe that they were going to get together in the end before Lois shows up. But taking Lois out of the equation, how do you feel Lana and Clark are together?
So for the longest time, I was like, no, I don't like Lois. Like, I only like Lana. Like, I'm not going to be happy when Lois comes into the show. Like, no. And then, of course, she came in, and I learned to love her. And then I was like, get Lana out. Like, why is she even still here? But yeah, so their chemistry at first is good. I think it's good. Like, it's interesting because she's the sweet girl. She's also kind of popular at the same time.
Girl next door.
Yeah, they're literally like right across the street from each other. Yeah. And he's kind of like, he has his awkward moments. Like, he can't talk to her.
Yeah.
Like, he looks at her through a telescope in his barn. Reaper. Like, yeah, it's kind of weird. But like, she's still very sweet, and then they start to grow a relationship where they start to have feelings for each other, and then it gets to a point where she's just annoying for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're just whining all the time. Yeah. Like, well, yeah, obviously, like, he has to keep some things.
Like, why are you hiding everything from me?
She goes, it's my decision, and it's like, oh my goodness,
that's not your decision to keep secrets from me. It's like, I think it is my decision to make, the secrets.
Yeah, and so she's just, at one point, it just becomes like, they get to a point where she's just always mad at him. And it's like,
they go to college, and it's like, this is so annoying.
Why? And then she starts to date other people, and then it's just like, can you just go,
so
please?
Originally, it was like, oh, this is cool. But I believe after they graduated high school, she should have left the show.
Yeah.
It would have made the most sense. You had your high school fling, which is very common in high school. You like a girl, you date them for a while, on and off again. And then you go to college and you have so many other opportunities. But I say that as a sophomore, so that's probably not a good thing. My mom's going to look back and be like, okay, all right, we're going to need to talk about that. But
you just, not even opportunities as in, like a girl. Yes, there are a lot more girls that you are exposed to in college, but also, you have sports that you can go out for, you have academics, you have to pay for college at this point, so you need to be able to be focused on your school.
Make it worth your while.
Yeah, it's not all about being with a girl. So, the opportunities, and not just a, romantic way, opportunities in just, there's so much more that you can now do with your life because you're now in college, and you don't have to worry about a girl.
Thank you for covering me up.
You're
welcome. Made it sound like I was a slave owner. It's there's so many women that I can have. No, I'm joking. I was just kidding. And then during season 4, somebody rescues Clark, and her name is Lois Lane.
Yes.
And when Lois entered the equation of this love triangle, I instantly was like, oh, I love this. I love this Lois Lane. I think she's great. She's phenomenal. And she's literally the opposite of Lana. She's mean towards
so Clark. Mean to him.
She's sassy. She's in everybody's business. When Lana's like, you do your own thing. I'll be patient. I'll wait. I'm kind.
Yeah, she's like, you're just keeping secrets. And Lois just come on. Whatever.
Spit it out,
Yeah.
And it's great. I love Lois Lane. And then once she entered the equation, I was like, let's get this. Let's boot out, Lana. She's not,
because even though, at the beginning, there was always, this, maybe there is, maybe they're, sarcastic to each other. Her and Clark were always, sarcastic and had remarks to each other. So you're always in the back of your mind, maybe is this because they like each other?
Well, you knew they were going to get together. It's
right.
Obvious.
But you also didn't at the same time. You knew,
Well, she got with Green Arrow for a while.
Which I wasn't mad at. I wasn't mad at any of that. Usually
Really?
I'm like, oh my goodness, no. But I was like, I don't actually, that's fine. So, in your mind, you're like, I know that they should get together, but maybe they won't. And, I loved it because it wasn't immediately he starts liking her. It's oh, no. I would never be with Lois. And then, they gradually start to, but they start to have feelings for each other, but they never lose that sarcastic, banter between each other.
Which I think is so fun. It's so important. Fun. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And it's just enjoyable to watch. Yeah. And I'm going to say something bold.
You don't like her with Green Arrow? Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, I don't like her with Green Arrow. I don't.
Okay.
But I'm going to say another bold thing.
Okay.
I think she's the best Lois Lane.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
And she's my favorite Lois Lane.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And it's crazy to imagine that she was not an actress before this show.
Yeah, no. When I heard about her story and how she got cast, I was like, wait, what? And it explains so much.
She hadn't been doing this at all. She was a casting director. She casted the actor that played Superman, the actor that played Lex Luthor, the actor that played Lionel, the actor that played Chloe. She casted all of them, which is crazy for someone that young to be a casting director, because casting directors are usually in their 50s, 60s, 70s, because they've been in the industry for a while. They've seen a lot of actors. They've seen a lot of up-and-coming actors. So they'll cast the up-and-coming or the ones they've known for a while.
Yeah.
But she was so young, and she was like, I could do this. No one else is coming that's been that good. Let me audition. And she did such a good job, and they gave it to her.
Yeah, and I loved it, too, because you could tell that, there are moments, and one of my favorite scenes in the entire show is the dunk tank scene.
Oh,
when,
yeah.
That was the first time I was like, oh, my goodness, there's something here. They're just fighting it, but there's something here. When, they're, having their banter, she's gonna throw a football and try and dunk him in the dunk tank, and he's like, yeah, okay, try and do it, and he's just smiling because I think he genuinely thought she was hilarious, and he loved her because just as a friend, behind the scenes, he's like, oh man, this is just her.
Which I guess,
and so she's been there since day one, so they had a relationship since
already.
then. So yeah.
And I guess she's not like Lois Lane at all. She's super shy.
So
she's
funny.
not outgoing. She's very sweet, and she will audition for stuff, but it's not crazy that, And so I think when Lois came in the show, I think it saved it. It brought new life to it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And that's why
because you were invested all over again. You're like, okay, well, this is the one that like
they have
this is it. Like this is who she's supposed to be with, and so like you have to follow them. And part of you is like, okay, well, I know it's supposed to happen, but is it ever going to happen? Like you just kind of follow the course.
Totally. But Emery, where would you rank Tom Welling in the top 7 Superman actor list that we have? We've ranked the Superboy actors, Christopher Reeves and Dean Cain, and now we're throwing in Tom Welling. Where would you rank him?
Okay, so I'm actually going to move someone.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm going to move somebody.
The first move. I feel like this is like the NFL draft. It's like the first move. All right.
So
who are you moving?
I had Dean Cain at 3rd. I'm going to go ahead and move him down to 4th.
Oh.
And I'm going to put Tom Welling in 3rd.
Okay.
Because,
Really?
Yep.
You know, people are going to be like, he's not even Superman. He's top 3.
I know. But I just have to follow my heart, okay? I love that movie. And not movie, oh my goodness, no. I love that show. And it just has a super special place in my heart. And even though he's not Superman, I still call him Superman because he is like you said before, he is Superman before he was called Superman. So so I'm gonna put him in 3rd and Dean Cain down to 4th.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
But you're gonna keep Dean Cain at 5th?
No.
You're gonna move him up to 4th?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna make Tom Welling 5th.
What?
Yeah, sorry. I think he's great, but we never saw him as Superman, and this is a Superman tier list. I'm sorry, my mom is probably going to kill me and ground me and bury my grave, but we never saw him as Superman, and that's why I'm putting him in that category.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But this is my show. I can do what I want. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And we can move anybody. We can move them if we want to or anything. Thank you guys for sticking around watching this episode. We enjoy it. We had fun. And join us next time where we are going to be reviewing another Superman actor. Let's hop right into the outro. See you guys later. God bless.